This? Oh, this? Or that? This? Down the box. Okay. We got some more time between first and second reading. Okay? So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know Ms. McDowell's not going to be with us, of course. Mrs. Badura?
He's not going to be here.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Welcome everyone to City Hall. If you wouldn't mind standing up, join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Duval, you want to lead us in a
I will.
ecumenical word of thanks?
Ecumenical. Father God, we bless you for this day. Thank you for allowing this council to come together to do the people's work, give us the wisdom of discernment, and bless those that are not with us today for reasons of family health. For we ask in your name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. We would ask everyone to keep Reverend McDowell's family in your prayers. His mother's going through some very difficult times right now, so we'll miss him. Is there any public input on the items on the agenda? Seeing none, Madam City Manager?
Yes, sir, we would ask you all to adopt the agenda, Mr. Mayor, as outlined.
So move.
Second.
Move second discussion with the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickerman? Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Vine? Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin, a moment quickly of personal privilege before we get started, because you will be seeing her a lot more often. We have a new member of the city family who's going to be helping Miss Moore, Miss Lady Girl Hollis. We're so excited to have our new deputy city clerk in place. And
Stand
I'll
up,
allow
lady.
Erica
Stand
to say
up, lady.
anything more.
Stand up, lady.
Stand
Stand up,
up.
Zoe.
I've seen her this morning.
All the way from Colombia, South America, but not right now, but a native of, yes.
Okay.
So she's
Awesome.
awesome.
Welcome aboard, lady. Welcome aboard.
All right, so we will begin, Mr. Mayor, if you could open a public hearing and then an ordinance first reading on ordinance number 2019-055, amending the 1998 Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia, South Carolina, Chapter 23, Utilities and Engineering, Article 5, Water and Sewer Rates, Section 23, 146,
motion?
Fire Hydrant.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Oh, I apologize. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of or against this item? All right. Any discussion of council? If not, motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion amongst council? Seeing none, we'll move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickerman? Aye. Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Vine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Our ordinance first reading, ordinance number 2019-022, amending the 1998 Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia, South Carolina, Chapter 2, Administration, to add Article 7, Conviction and Wage History Prohibition in City Employment and by City Contractors and City Vendors.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, moving second. And Mr. Davis said that we're going to have, obviously, some time between the first and second reading to discuss the ordinance more. But I believe this is a strong statement that we believe strongly in second chances. And in some cases, for people to have their first chance to participate in this American economic experiment. And I'm proud to support this ordinance. Any further discussion? Mr. Rickenman. Put your microphone down, Daniel.
I think one of the concerns I have and have with this is that we don't have a policy in place that once a job is offered that we are moving forward as a city on doing a background check at that point. Because our employees are exposed and interact with children, with elderly and all types of people. And unfortunately, I've lost a little faith in the system because it's clear to me that, second chances, I think, are great. Everybody deserves it. We've all had them. But the offenders that are out there today are multiple times. I mean, our court systems are releasing people left and right, the majority of the crimes that we're seeing. So for me, I believe we ought to give the person the opportunity and the benefit of the doubt. I guess my concern is what's the next step? We say that if we're offering a job, we're going to look at that, but we have no policy in place that states that. And I think it's important that we have something similar to that as part of this so that, that things don't slip through the cracks or we don't put ourselves or our public in harm's way. And I'm not sure, I don't know the right terminology, I'm not sure what the right way to do that, but I think it's something we need to consider between these readings.
Absolutely, and I think all wise advice and counsel is something we must have in place. I mean, we know that we've got to make sure that everything we do is in the interest of not just creating opportunity, but also protecting the public that we're sworn to serve, whether it be in our parks system or working closely just with citizens every single day. Our police officers have last year probably had 150,000 contacts with citizens, and it's critical. So that may be something we need to spend some time with Pam between now and the next meeting, just making sure that that blocking and tackling is in place to make sure that we're doing all the right things. I think it's important that we live within the values of the city, and we can do that. We can do that. Yeah. Mr. Davis?
Yeah, that might, if that allows some comfort level, then I don't have a problem with it. That may be an opportunity to maybe look at some of the other municipalities that have gone in this direction and see what their experience is and what some of the language might look like to give us the assurance that, that we have those assurances.
So let's make sure that's something we'd be great for Pam to engage with us on individually. And we want to thank you. I mean, we've been walking the walk for some time now anyway, and this is formalizing the process. Yeah. Really want to thank staff and legal, Patrick and others, really for embracing this. And let's spend some time making sure. I think this is the type of thing. Obviously, you'll never have unanimous support in everything you do, but it's important that if you're able to do it by making sure you cross all the T's, dot all the I's, this is the type of thing you want to make sure you have that type of broad support for by doing it and doing it right. So Mrs. Benjamin was apparently looking at us on the internet and came on up here, so thank you very much, Director of Human Resources. All right, move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Vine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Thank you.
The resolutions?
Yes, sir. Item 3, resolution number 2019-032, adopting a fair chance policy to prohibit inquiry into conviction history information or wage history information.
So moved.
Second.
Same discussion per Daniel's and Sam's comments. It's important to note too, for those who are familiar with these policies regarding second chances and man in the box, is that we're also talking about wage history here, recognizing the significant disparities that exist, and particularly more so by sex. Women are paid significantly less than men, and requiring previous wage history to be a part of the factors in making decisions usually perpetuates that history of discrimination. So by taking that off of the application, also it's an opportunity for us to begin to rectify some of our major societal challenges. So that's also part of the new approach. We'll move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickman?
Aye.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Vine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. Ms. Devine.
I was just going to say to both of those policies, the one thing that it is, all of us are watching the debates on the national level regarding issues that, just quite honestly, the federal government has not been able to effectively address in a meaningful way. But when you look at people who are actually doing things that are improving the lives of citizens, it is local government. And cities and towns and counties across this country are implementing policies like ban the box and deleting wage history, and it's really making a difference. And so, think back to us in the bump stock and people thinking that was, far, and, we were the national leader on that. And so these as well, I believe we are the leaders on these issues, and I think that we'll see that they will be widely accepted by not just the citizens that we're serving, but help build our economy here locally and statewide.
All right. Thank you, Tamika. City Manager?
Yes, sir. Item 4, resolution number 2019-059, adopting a policy and criteria to apply Richland County's commercial development tax credit for developments within the city of Columbia.
Is there a motion?
I move.
Second. There's some tentativeness there. Move the previous, discussion.
Yeah,
Mr. Rickenman.
I'll be quite honest, I think that this is premature for us to take up. I think one of the things that our staff is working on is really assessing why our tax situation is where, how it's spread. I think the work that Jeff is engaging with Dr. Gunlogson would really give us a real inside look at how to address it, because the way I read this and the way I've looked at it, this is a far cry from what we've done before. And basically any new person from out of town comes in. So if you look at it, you have to get 3 businesses to make up for the one that's here. A lot of the burden is going to shift to those people who are already paying, which is one of the things that I'm concerned about. I think, good intentions here, thought process, but not thought all the way through. And my suggestion would be is that we work with the county and really identify what our tax situation is, why are the costs the way they are, how does that burden transfer from the different, we've identified non-tax paying as part of the issue, but we really didn't dive into the other elements, what's causing that. I think it'd be prudent to do that before we engage and just jump into this, in my humble opinion.
Mr. Davis?
Well, I'm intrigued about the other elements regarding this, in addition to the nonprofit challenges that we have. Daniel?
The non-tax paying. Let's clarify.
Tax paying.
I think it's important. Most of the things that we've been able to do, at least within the city, have been opportunities that we brought to the county. Although we're not a state of 150 cities, we're a state of 46 counties, and most of the tools available are available to them under the state constitution and state statutes. I agree. This is not perfect, but I don't want to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We found a point where at least we have some agreement. I believe that every single one of those conversations, I do believe that the public would be favorably impressed with the level of conversation that we've had, some in the public domain, some in executive session because of the legal considerations, but the depth and exactly how robust discussions have been on the concerns that Mr. Rickenman and Mr. Davis specifically, but every member of council has regarding non-tax-paying citizens, the reality that 76.5% of our real estate and area is not on the tax rolls here. You combine that with the impact of Act 388 and its impact on residential property, it creates an incredibly challenging situation so that the regular commercial taxpayers are still bearing a disproportionate amount, significantly disproportionate amount of the burden, and it has arrested development to a degree here in the city. I so, however, do not want to look a gift horse in the mouth, and I think if we have an opportunity to find some consensus with the county, while at the very same time continue to push on all those other issues, I want to do it. I want to make sure we take advantage of it. So I'm not disagreeing, Daniel, but I want to do and plus as opposed to a hard stop. Mr. Duval.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I hope that we will pass this resolution also because it is such a general resolution and it requires that it go back through county and city councils for each individual project. It only sets a threshold of $30 million. It's about the hardest fact that it has in there. The rest of it has to be determined by city and county staff and city and county council. This is an effort by the county to put forward some sort of roadmap for how we will treat future tax credits. And although I agree with Mr. Rickman that this is an imperfect policy, it is an effort from the county side to reach out to the city, and I think we need to reach out to the county and adopt the policy with whatever flaws it has and work through those flaws as we get projects that qualify to be treated by this policy.
Thank you. Any other commentary? If not, sorry.
No, Mr. Mayor, I hope you didn't understand my point to be in question of. I don't have a problem, again, going with this, but I think we all know what the bottom line is and where we want to eventually end up. So, I mean, I can live with where we're heading now, but to continue to look at it, research it, and see what our experiences are, and if down the road it becomes necessary, we can tweak it.
All right. Fantastic. All right.
You good with that?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll move the previous question. Concerns duly noted with the recognition there's a whole lot more work to do, and we don't want to take our foot off the gas when it comes to that. Madam City Manager. Yes, sir. All right. Move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickman? No. Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Motion to go into executive session.
Yeah, Mr. Duval, that's your business.
Mr. Mayor, I move we go into executive session for receipt of legal advice related to matters covered by attorney-client privilege pursuant to 30-4-70, firearms recovered from crimes or criminal activity, amend section 8-31 nuisance definitions, adding ghost guns, extreme risk protection orders, tree removal policy, Parks and Recreation Foundation Municipal Court, discussion of matters related to proposed location or expansion of services to encourage location or expansion of industries or other businesses pursuant to 70A2, Avalanta, receipt of legal advice related to a pending, threatened, or potential claim, 30-4-70A2, Lynn Robertson and COC.
All right. Is there a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickman? Aye. Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming today.
Go back to work.